Why are people so into astrology? Let's find out today. This is a video about patience, xina. Let's get it started. Also, I have a new microphone, which is this. I don't know if you guys can hear me properly. I don't know if I might have to do it like this. I'm not really sure. But if you guys can hear me like this, when you're standing like this, let me know. If you want me to do it like this, let me know. But it's like this for now in front of me. So hopefully everything is good. RIP to the headphones. I know, Annie, that's going to trigger you because you love my headphones for some odd reason. You're probably watching this video, so shout out to you. And thank you for letting your stream watch my channel. I really appreciate that. All love to you and your walk with Christ. For real. I really appreciate it. But yeah, let's do it.
Hello my dears, welcome back to another video. I'm really sorry that my uploads have been really sporadic recently. You're gonna have to bear with that for like at least another couple weeks or so, and then hopefully we'll go back to the normal Wednesday and Sunday uploads. But today's deep dive is into astrology. So some of you panicked. I saw a few comments under my community post saying, patience, if you're going to talk about astrology, you need to make sure you really research it so that you do it justice. Calm down. Don't worry, I'm not going to be diving deep into astrology itself because, to be entirely honest with you, I'm personally not that interested. However, I am very interested in people, and I'm interested in the people who enjoy astrology. So that's what this video is going to be more centered around. It's not going to be centered around astrology and what the belief consists of or whatever. It's more so going to be centered around the people who believe in it, because I would like to understand why they believe in it. And so that's what we're going to be diving into today.
If you don't know about astrology, most of it derives from Greek mythology and witchcraft. Literally all it is. Yeah. So it really comes from Greek mythology and witchcraft. Literally all it is, with the crystals, the crystal balls, affirmations, all that has to do with witchcraft. All of it has to do with witchcraft. And yourself, idolizing yourself, idolatry, which is breaking the 10 commandments and breaking God's law, and we're all guilty under the law. So yeah, it is literally witchcraft, just masqueraded into modernization, into today's sense. So it's modernized. So yeah, do your research, you'll find out what I'm saying is true.
Let's get into the stats of who actually is more likely to believe in astrology. So, according to an American YouGov poll, 1 in 4 US Americans say they believe in astrology, and people under the age of 30 are the biggest believers. Women are also
30?
more likely to believe in astrology than men. Similar things have been observed in Canada, as Business in Vancouver released an article titled "Young Canadians are more likely to believe in astrology, survey finds." And what they found was that the vast majority of Canadians do not believe in astrology. However, within
what does this have to do with astrology? Well, I don't know if she's practicing astrology. Well, she got crystals in the back. She got trees in the back. Yeah, she got glasses in the back. Got necklace on. She got the whole new age starter kit package right now. And my computer just froze. Wow. Okay. My computer, okay, now I can move. I seem like I'm attacking Satan's kingdom and he is pissed off right now. I rebuke you, Satan, in the name of Yahusha's name. But anyway, like I was saying, I don't know what this statue has to do with New Age beliefs, but this is obviously from Hinduism or Buddhism or something. And so yeah, it also has forms of like Buddhism, like where you like meditate. Yeah, you meditate and you focus on getting the energy from within or something weird like that. So yeah, all that is witchcraft, bro. All that is witchcraft and just Buddhism. Just masqueraded, bro.
Demographics that did believe in astrology, the vast majority of them were between the ages of 18 to 34. Within Britain, there's even less believers in astrology, as BMG research found that only 16% of Brits believe in astrology between the ages of 18 plus. They also found that, similar to the US, women are far more likely to believe in astrology than men.
Yep.
So now let's get into why younger people are more likely to believe in astrology compared to older generations. So The Atlantic released an article called The New Age of Astrology. Within the article, Julia Beck argues that people are far more likely to believe in astrology during times of uncertainty or during times of stress. She cites a study done by psychologist Graham Tyson, who found that people who believed in astrology typically tended to gravitate towards it when they were feeling confused or uncertain, even though when times were good, they were far less likely to believe in it. According to survey data from the American Psychological Association, in 2014 they found that millennials tend to be the highest stress demographic. So people who are and Gen Z tend to exhibit higher levels of stress. So there's been many reasons that have been put forward as to why this is. One of those is that because we are a digital generation, we are exposed to way too much information. We have access to the news of all around the world, and naturally this does cause us to be a lot more stressed. On top of this, we've also experienced things like pandemics as well as recessions, etc. A lot has happened in a very short space of time, and so this has led to a lot of younger generations feeling quite stressed. APA survey.
Okay, so this is very interesting. Me personally, I have never been stressed ever. Well, I lied. In the sense of like the pandemic, I call it pandemic because I believe it was planned. When it came down to that, I was not stressed because I was always a homebody. You know what I mean? I was always a homebody and I was always broke. So it didn't really matter to me. But for the people that were like outside people, hang around and all that stuff, they felt isolated, stressed, depressed, all the down bad words you can ever think in the vocabulary of bad. Yeah, it was very stressful for a lot of people, and definitely agree with the whole age of, you know, the internet being accessible to a lot of people, and we live in a digitalized age. Stress is like abound. It's like literally inevitable. But I think once you get to the mindset and you get the strong mindset, if you critically think about most things, you will never be stressed ever again. I don't like being stressed, so I'm not going to allow myself to be stressed ever. I don't find no benefits of being stressed out ever. There's no benefits of being stressed. There's no benefits. Now, there is data that says that when people are under pressure, they get more better results. But being under pressure is it the same as stress? You could say it's the same as stress, right? I don't believe that in most cases that when you're under stress, 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up folding or choking. 9 times out of 10. And I personally will never stress about anything. I'm never going to put myself in positions where I'm going to be stressed out. Now, there's going to be times where it's going to be inevitable and I'm going to have to go through trials. But in most cases, people could prevent themselves from being stressed out and being in uncomfortable or stressful positions. Unless, like I said, it's like inevitable. Like you're like with your parents or like somebody put something on you or something, then that's inevitable. But for the most part, you can train yourself not to be stressed. You can train yourself to live a simple, easy. You can choose to live a simple, easy, good life. Obviously, if you're Christian also, but not guaranteed. If you live a Christian life, it's not guaranteed that it's just going to be good, because you're going to have your trial seasons going to constantly attack you. Spiritual battles every single day, attacks in your dreams, attacks with lust, all this other stuff. But for the most part, once you have God on your side, you're good. You're valid all the time. And once I have God on my side, who's stopping me? Jesus is on my side. Satan can't stop Jesus, so who's stopping me? I'm his child, so who's stopping me? And this is the mindset that most Christians have to have, that people give Satan too much power in the sense that we have the power to rebuke him and step on his head. That's what people don't realize. People do not realize that. And I think once Christians realize the power that they have through the Holy Spirit that Jesus gave us, literally Satan can never attack us, ever. Most of the things that happen in society, like donations and, you know, giving to the poor, all these were established by Christians, like hospitals, things, all this nature was established by Christians, and they had to fight Satan for that, bro. So imagine if Christians had this type of power. A lot of Christians are cowards, bro, and that's really how it is. I had to stop being a coward. That's how I made this channel in the first place. I know I'm going on a tangent, but the reality is that if you're watching this video and you're stressed out, just know that stress is from Satan, and God does not want you to be stressed. You have to lean on to God. You have to fast. You have to face on this battle spiritually, and you have to face it head on. If you just sit up there and say, I'm going to be forever be stressed and be in this mindset of being depressed in a box, what the media tells you, you're going to always be that way, and you're never going to get out that box. And I know you don't like being in that box. If you don't like being in a position where you don't want to be in, you would try your hardest to try to get out of that situation as much as possible. No matter what obstacles in your way, you're going to try your hardest to get out of the situation. Even if it's a small situation, or even if you gradually try to get out of that situation, you're going to get out of it. Especially with God on your side, you're going to be good, bro. I'm sorry for going on a tangent though, but I just want to give advice for people that are struggling with stress or depression or anything like that.
Survey found that 63% of Americans said that they were significantly stressed about their country's future. 56% of the people said that the news regularly stressed them out. Lately, the news seems to encompass a lot of things surrounding things like climate change, global crises with the whole like pandemic and stuff, also the threat of nuclear war, as well as a whole bunch of other things, you know, inflation, cost of living crisis. Babes, it's a stressful time to be alive. Do you know what I mean? So naturally, with all of this going on, astrology just looks. I just
don't let that bother me though. I just let God handle all my battles for me. I feel like if I try to fight my own battles, it's never gonna go out well for me. having faith in Jesus is one of the most beautifulest things, because you don't fight your own battles. You let Jesus fight your battles for you. And even if you have to fight, and remember, this battle that we face in this life, it has nothing to do with flesh. It has everything to do with spirits and principalities. So we never have to go about fighting battles on our own. Jesus fights all our battles, and revenge is unto the Lord. So we don't have to fight anything. All we have to do is do our due diligence and follow Jesus Christ in the best of our ability, and he'll guide every path of the way. Simple. And even if we unfortunately die in that position, there's a greater road ahead. And that's in heaven, where you don't have to deal with any of the stress on this earth, any of the things that you dealt with on earth. You're going to be happy, and none of those things that happen on earth that is chaotic, satanic, and evil will happen in heaven. So that's the good thing about it, and the good thing about Christianity as a whole.
Lot shinier to the younger generations as a way to kind of cope with all this anxiety and cope with all of this stress. Another reason that's been put forward as to why people are into astrology is because social media has made it very, very trendy. If you look on TikTok, you can see tons of videos of people talking about astrology and kind of like, you know, making jokes about zodiac signs, etc. So that's also another thing that tends to have made it quite interesting, especially particularly to young girls. Speaking of young girls, so as I said before, the stats showed that women tend to be more drawn to astrology. Yep. So women have been found to be more prone to negative emotions. So women tend to have higher rates of anxiety as well as higher rates of stress. And so naturally, again, if astrology attracts those kinds of people, then it makes sense as to why it would attract women. I did actually discuss in my motivational speakers video reasons that people have found as to why women tend to exhibit higher rates of anxiety and stress. I will link that video down below. The section where I talk about it is under the gender chapter. So if you wanted to check that out, if you wanted more information on that. But yeah, another reason
definitely think that's from social media as well. Most women get that from social media, of this like false, you know, if you look at most it's just like the envious, even if women don't want to acknowledge it, a lot of women are envious of a lot of women online. And I think that once they see like popular girls on social media, like for example the Kardashians, or you know, popular beautiful women that's beautiful than them, they get envious of that, and then they get like depressed, they have low self-esteem, anxious, and then also they have to deal with, like, even if they are beautiful, they have to deal with, you know, creepy guys and all this stuff. So it's a lot to deal with if you're female, you know. It's super hard. And same thing goes for a man, you know, to get a woman, you know, woman's being difficult because of her issues, and it's a real big issue, and it all comes down to sin being the problem. But yeah, it's very crazy that social media really has messed up women. I just made a video about Instagram and how Instagram destroys women's capability of being in a relationship, and just having social skills with when it comes down to man and just relationships. So yeah, it's really crazy. Social media really destroyed women and men in general. It's really crazy, bro.
Why women tend to be more drawn to astrology is because women tend to be more introspective. Okay, so now let's get into the personality traits of people who tend to believe in astrology. Now, I know that there are going to be some astrology believers in my viewership, and so I need you to promise me something, okay? You need to pinky swear. You need to pinky swear that you're not going to get mad. So when it comes to character and personality, psychologists have found that people who tend to believe in astrology tend to be lower in IQ and higher in narcissism. Hey. You pinky swore?
Wow.
You pinky swore. So the reason why they came to this conclusion is because they studied it on Facebook. So some psychologists from London University conducted an online questionnaire that revealed that people who believe in astrology tend to be less intelligent than the norm and also score higher on narcissistic traits. So they created an online questionnaire designed to identify personality traits, and they also added an IQ test as well. They then recruited 264 English-speaking adults using Facebook to take their questionnaire. So what the researchers found is that those who professed a belief in the powers of astrology tended to score higher than average on narcissistic measurements, and also did very poorly on the IQ test. They suggest that this indicates that people who have a faith in astrology tend to be more self-focused than average and see themselves as special with natural leadership skills, and who also happen to be less intelligent than the average person. They noted that the higher the volunteers' IQ was, the less likely they were to say they believed in astrology. Psycho Daily News also reported that narcissism was the strongest predictor of whether or not someone believed in astrology. So you might be wondering.
Okay, so let me say this. I don't believe to a full scale that narcissism is a bad thing. I think it's good to love yourself. I think, well, the Bible says to love yourself and to love your neighbor as yourself. So God created us in his own image, and we're supposed to be proud of that. We're supposed to be happy about that. And so that's loving yourself, right? We're not supposed to be insecure of ourselves. I think everybody should love how they look, love how their personality is, and just love themselves as general, like how their body is, everything. Just love yourself. Don't be insecure about yourself. God made you beautifully and wonderfully made carefully. So love yourself. So I have no problem with that type of narcissism. But the problem with narcissism is that it gets to like too much of everything is bad for you, right? So when you have too much of that is when you become prideful, evil, selfish, inconsiderate, and all these other problems. That's where we become a problem. And it also makes you not take other things into consideration. Like, for example, you could be wrong about something, and I tell you, right? And I give you a whole bunch of background information, say do your research, evidence, or whatever, and you would literally say, nah, that's not true. Oh, this, that, and the third, and you're not considerate at all. Like, and it's not even about being inclusive. I hate using that word, especially how like the SJW communities be using it. But like in a sense, like you're being locked in a box, and you're like one-sided, if that makes sense. At least take to what I say in consideration. It's almost like you're not humbling yourself. You don't take other thoughts of opinion to consideration at all. It's like you're just very just prideful, and you're just arrogant. So that's basically what it is. A lot of girls that are into astrology, like I remember when I talked to this girl one time, literally when I first met her, and I was talking to her, she's like, "What's your sign?" I'm like, "Does it matter?" Like I didn't ask her none of that, bro. Like, why does it matter? She just kept asking me, like I didn't understand what, and I told her I don't follow that. What does that mean? And then I said like I guess I'm an Aries, like I don't care though. And then she was like, "Oh, that's cool, whatever." And like she was just weird, like they're just mad weird, bro. Like I don't know. It's like whenever a girl asks me for my sign or something like that, I want to block them in real life. Like I want to just have a block button or have a remote and just block them in real life and never talk to them ever again. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't want to talk to them ever again because it's like, what does that mean? Like I feel like most people who's in astrology, they just in it because like what she said, they need a place of like something they can relate to, a belief system. Probably they were a Christian before or like a different religion, and their religion messed them up or whatever, and they want just a sense of being themselves and having a religion, because everyone seeks a religion, whether it be atheism is a religion if you didn't know, and Satanism is a religion, all this other stuff. So yeah, people always want to find a god somehow, even if it's themselves, which is atheism. They're crazy people, man. They're crazy people.
Why is there a link between narcissism and low IQ and astrology? So the reasons that have been brought forward in regards to the low IQ is that they found that people who believe in astrology tend to have poorer critical thinking skills compared to non-believers. In regard to the...
Oh yeah, I definitely believe that because astrology people, they will not go out with you if you have a different sign than them. Like their complex, their brain process works off of that thing only. Like it's not even because I just don't like your personality. They'll be like, oh nah, because my sign doesn't coincide with your sign. Like, huh? What does that mean? Like what does that mean, bro? Like it's not even like different religion or something. It's because of different signs, bro. Different quote unquote personality traits that the sign coincides with. What does that mean, bro? That is so dumb. Like that's why most men that come across a girl that's into astrology, they be getting so annoyed. Like they don't even want to talk to them because it's like it's so stupid, bro. It's so dumb. And I'm not talking about the strong, high believers of astrology that take that as a religion. I'm talking about just the girls that just have crystals on ignorantly and just be having crystals in their house, having sages in their house. Don't know what that has to do with witchcraft and all this other stuff. And they just say, I'm a Virgo and I could do this and I could do that. And you're an Aries or whatever, or you're what else, Aquarius, and that I can't like talk to you because you're that. Oh, you're this way because you're an Aquarius. Like, please be quiet. Please, that is idiotic. That is dumb. I don't know where you got that from. It's stupid. It's dumb. Like, it's stupid, bro. But yeah, bro. It makes sense why it's low IQ.
Because astrology is very highly focused
associated with
it requires you to understand the self, understand your charts and understand all of that. It's very, very self-centric. So this is the reason why it tends to attract narcissists, because it does place a lot of importance on the understanding of thyself. Some have even brought forward that this is also the reason why astrology belief is a lot higher in the millennial and Gen Z generation, because these two generations have the highest rates of narcissism. And with the culture that kind of encourages narcissism with the emphasis on things like self-help, self-care, self-love. Our generation is very much I, me. Which, to be honest with you, I can't even argue with. We are quite a self-absorbed generation, to be fair. We do think that the world has to bend for our will. When I consider all the times where we seem to demand that things be changed because we don't like it, and we demand things to be done the way we want them to, that's pretty narcissistic. So I can't really argue with that, to be honest. But when you have a culture that kind of encourages that, this is why you end up having people who view the world from a very egocentric view and who view the world through a very self-absorbed lens. This is what can lead people to viewing the world through the lens of I and me instead of being more considerate to other people, which is probably why we often see people demanding things regardless of who it harms in the process or who it might negatively affect. As long as I am happy, that is all that matters.
You see, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with any of those things she said about self. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's the extent people go to. Like I said from the beginning, everything, too much of anything is terrible for you. Even water. As crazy as that sounds. The problem is not with, and I know that's not what she's trying to say, but it's not the problem of self-love. The problem is too much of it. Because when you self-love yourself so much, you become selfish. Bars. You become selfish. You don't care about nobody else. You care about yourself. And it just makes you very self-centered and arrogant. At that point, nobody can tell you anything. Nobody can tell you what's wrong, what's right. You just have one set stone and that's it. Now, sometimes that's good when it comes down to morals. Like good morals. But when it comes down to aspects like this, it's very bad, bro. Very bad. It is very bad. It's really bad to have self-love to like the greatest extent that they be having it through. And I think that if you're gonna have self-love, right? Why won't you want to have that self-love for somebody else so they can be in the same position as you? Why are you just to yourself, well, nah, I just want to love myself and that's it. You don't want somebody else to feel that self-love? You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole point. Like, if you're a Christian and you don't share the gospel, why are you not sharing that beautiful testimony of how you came from being this person, like a smoker, drug addict, or whatever, into being Christian devoted man or woman that, you know, spreads love to everyone, tells them about the testimony, and tries to help other people that went through that same problem that you had when you was dealing with that issue? Why not do that? Why are you keeping that to yourself? And that's the problem where it comes to selfishness and having too much self-love. There's nothing wrong with having self-love. There's nothing wrong with loving yourself. But it's to a certain extent where you go about it. You know what I mean? So that's the problem.
In conclusion, do I think that astrology is bad? No, I don't think there's anything wrong with astrology, as long as you're not one of those people that's judging people based on their star signs. Like, that is the most bizarre thing to me, because you're basically judging people based on when they were born. As long as you're not using star signs to justify your poor behavior, I see absolutely nothing wrong with astrology. People enjoy it, they find it fun, so why not? I just think that we should not accept it as a science, though, because there are people who are trying to actively argue that astrology is a science when it is absolutely not. It's a pseudoscience. But I do think at the end of the day, many people need something to believe in, whether it's going to help them deal with stress or deal with anxiety. You know, life does come with a lot of suffering, and people need something to help them cope through that. And if astrology is the thing that works for you, then why not? But that is all for today on this topic of astrology. I hope you did find this video very interesting. Do check me out on other socials and check out my music as well.
She makes music. I might have to check that out. Very great video. Let me know in the comments below, are you into astrology and why? Why are you into it? What got you into it? What was your reasoning behind astrology? I believe that everyone should give their life to Jesus Christ. Jesus said that all those who labor or suffering or in pain, come to him and he will give you rest. Jesus taught to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Bless your enemies. Care for those that persecute you. And astrology, you're not taught that. You're taught to love yourself, do whatever you want. I mean, there's aspects where you like spread good energy, right, or something like that, which is good, I could say, but it comes off as witchcraft, and you'll find that once you do more research on astrology and how it ties into Buddhism and witchcraft and things like that. And just by the crystals and the things like that, it could just show off that it's witchcraft, but people need discernment to understand that. But that's a different story. But anyway, yeah, let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about it. Let me know if this mic is good. I don't know if it's good like here or good when I put it like this. I don't know. I kind of got used to holding it like this whenever I'm about to talk. So yeah, let me know. But yeah, man, shout out to Patience, Xina, and yeah, man, If you guys haven't already, give your life to Jesus Christ. He's the most important thing in your life right now. If you haven't given your life to Jesus Christ, the video on how to get saved is in the description. Follow all my social medias, which is in the outro. And I love y'all, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. God bless.